Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to Ethernal Realms. Let's get into what this May Scorpio eclipse is doing for you here. So this eclipse is a lunar one and it's taking place on the 5th of May. And it is about purging. We have the South Node here. We need to release certain things. It's a time of the full moon. So the Sun is in Taurus along with Mercury retrograde, Uranus, as well as the North Node. Also Jupiter is going to be shifting soon in the same month. Not quite there yet, but still there is going to be more clarity that comes up during the tenure of this eclipse playing out. Okay, so your 6th house is getting really activated. There can be some new beginnings related to your work, your lifestyle, routines, health, habits in general, the way that you want to earn money, or what is sustainable for you, what do you value in life, and so on. All right, so that's super important. And at the same time, you're letting go of certain habits. You're recognizing that there are certain things that you've been holding on to, or certain patterns that you don't agree with anymore, and it's time for those things to go. Simultaneously, you can be working on balancing your work and rest, or work and play. You might be incorporating more, meditation, or being more religious about your downtime. You're taking some time off, introspecting more, and kind of bringing into focus that behind the scenes type of quality. Okay, things you're planning might not be obvious to other people, or things that you're changing within yourself is not obvious outside, but what other people see, or your co-workers see, would be that you're becoming more and more stable, much more secure, much more reliable, and that the work you do is becoming a lot more consistent. But that's happening as a result of some things that are leaving your life. Now, Jupiter is at this time in Aries, which is a fellow fire sign. So these changes that are happening here have a much higher chance of being very, very fruitful for you. There can be something that you enjoy that comes into light. For example, the recognition of a new hobby, and you want to make that a part of your lifestyle, but that would mean that you have to let go of certain other hobby, or certain other, habit that you have. Some limiting belief that you might have, that if you work, then you can't have that much fun, or if you also incorporate your hobby, then you might not be able to rest enough. Things like that, where you block yourself, right? Those things are likely working through this particular eclipse. So let's see. And this one is working in tandem with the Aries solar eclipse that we had. That was on the 20th or the 19th of April, depending on where you stay. And right after that day, Mercury went retrograde. And in this time of the eclipse of May 5th, also Mercury is still retrograde. So a lot of these changes are happening more internally, behind the scenes. It's not yet obvious. But after Mercury goes direct, we will get some more clarity on the developments that have taken place. And also we can plan ahead and kind of produce tangible work or tangible ideas as well, and that's happening after the May 15th. So let's see. We have Justice coming through, which is the Libra energy, also connects with Saturn. We have the Ace of Cups, that's very nice. Okay. This is a specific message, take it as it resonates, but some of you could be conceiving a child, or you're thinking of going for adoption, or figuring out a different way to have a child, basically. Ace of Cups can talk about something born out of love. And Justice is about partnerships, and we have Strength as well, which corresponds with Leo, which talks about childhood. So it can be that your children are coming into focus, they are expanding, they're going through a couple of changes, and that of course has an effect on you. This of course applies if you have children or you want children, but apart from that, this can talk about your own inner child as well. You want to do it justice, you want to bring it out more, you want to have a lot more fun, be more zesty and whatnot. All right, and then we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Two of Pentacles. Nice. The Two of Pentacles can talk about multiple income sources, if that's something that's interesting for you, or it can be that you are able to transfer your resources and skills from one industry to another. So in that way, you have a completely new work environment, completely new routine. Perhaps you get more flexibility when we have the Two of Pentacles here. Simultaneously, it can be that there's a lot going on, so you're having to balance multiple things. And this is kind of reiterating what I said about your work and rest, your play and work, and the amount of time you invest in other people versus yourself, and how exactly within yourself, right? So that's coming into focus again. Now the Seven of Swords, the first thing I hear is, where are you stealing from you? Okay, are you stealing resources from yourself? Are you putting in efforts in a direction that is not benefiting you in any way? Is it taking away energy from you rather? It's not, Seven of Swords is not a very neutral thing, okay? It is kind of what's working against you, what's not yet here in the tangible world, but is happening in the mindset. Look at the words that you say to yourself, or the things that you think to yourself about certain goals that you want to achieve. For example, oh, that's going to be extremely hard to reach, so I'm not going to try it. Or I will try it half-heartedly. Maybe I should try something else which is much easier, path of least resistance and things like that. But what if the thing that is behind the resistance is a tendency of overthinking or self-sabotage, or a belief system from the past, or a toxic attachment or conditioning from the past as well, that is standing in the way? Even with the Strength card over here, I'm not really sure if you can see it in the video, but you can see that there's a lot of axes in the background here, and a lot of things that this lady is basically defending against, because the depiction here indicates that there are many things externally that is trying to destroy the snake over here. Generally, we represent the Strength with the lion, but in this deck here, the person is using the snake because we want to attack the ferocity, we want to attack the venom, and we're like very scared of it. And it's a projection or a reflection of our fear that we want to attack such things. But the snake also represents rebirth and transformation, and the fear comes from the fear of the unknown, or the fear of change, fear of acceptance. What are those fears that are lurking underneath the surface, that there is a need to kind of defend for it, or hide behind it, or be ignorant about it, right? There are multiple ways that we deal with fears depending on your own coping mechanism, of course. But the Strength is like, okay, let's make peace. We can't keep fighting like this, because both are a part of us. We can't hate on the part of us that wants to defend for something or be ignorant about something, because it is a method of self-preservation and protection, right? So the other side is not evil, but neither is this inherent need for change and transformation. So we don't need to hate one or the other. We don't need to separate one from the other, because both are incorporated. And when both of them come together, the light and the shadow aspects, the fears, when they're understood, they start to play along. The snake attacks only when it is triggered, when it is fearful itself. We are afraid of it, it also gets afraid of it, of us, and then that whole situation get poisoned and whatnot. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? It does not have to be, and that's what this lady over here is talking about. It's taming the fierce side, but at the same time, it's gathering strength from knowing its fierceness. Its ferocity is allowed to be expressed in the right environment, okay? So that's very wonderful. And speaking of the environment, the Ace of Cups here is like nourishing the seedlings, right? There are seeds here. There can be new relationships, new love interests that come in, which are growing in. And if you're already with someone, then your passion is growing. There can be a desire to legalize something here if you've been together long enough, for example, living together, or getting married or something. Not quite there yet, honestly, but there is that thought. Aces are about very new beginnings, okay? It's still in the baby stages, and we need to think about it a little bit more. There are many other factors that come into play apart from just mind-blowing love for anyone or anything. Same goes with like if you have children, then of course having a baby is like a very wonderful idea, but then comes in all of these other factors of, you know, do we have enough finances, do we have the place, are we like mature enough, can we handle the responsibility? It's not just about the baby phase of things, right? So yeah, something like that can come in here. So examine those afterthoughts that you have beyond the first spark of idea. That'll give you a lot of knowledge about where you are coming from, what your personal priorities are, and again help you deal with that Seven of Swords energy that I was talking about. Where do you steal from yourself? You know, where do you hide from yourself? Where are you ignoring a problem? You know, things like that come in here. Another thing is you might be strategic, clever, and working behind the scenes. Those are the positive manifestations of the Seven of Swords. You're not quite ready to present something to the world because you're still thinking about it. You're still processing something. So it's not yet ready and you still feel a little bit insecure about coming very clean about it, or, you know, making it very public. Okay? Even if you get a job in some other place, it might be something that your heart calls out to you, but it might be a little bit different in terms of your finances or the benefits that you get. So you're not quite sure how you can express that to either your family or your loved ones or whatever the case is. Okay, but that's the thing, you're still figuring things out, and that's completely okay. You're also being clever with the resources that are there. That plays very harmoniously with the Two of Pentacles. You're managing your resources very intelligently, while at the same time you're doing something that you enjoy. Okay, that's obviously an example, but it can even be like you're establishing a new habit and you're making sure that you can continue on the habit before you say, yes, I work out now, or yes, I dance now, or whatever it is that you want to adopt here. Okay, now the Libra energy that we were getting here. This falls in your 11th house. So this can be about the network that you have. You might be collaborating with different people. You can be partnering up with a friend of yours. They could be either a Leo or a Libra, something like that. They don't have to be, of course, they're just indicators, but the Justice indicates that there is a contractual relationship in some way. You can be 11th house rules humanitarian causes. Okay, so if you're interested in, you know, humanitarianism or working for the environment or something like that, where it is pure love for you, and while you might have to like move things around a little bit, you're not accustomed to this way of being. It's just something that calls to you very much, so much that you're willing to deal with the fears that you have with regards to the transition. Okay, so once again, you're not needing to do this immediately. Eclipses play out in like 4 to 6 months, so you're not in any rush as such, but the feeling becomes a little bit more urgent, urging you to get moving in a certain direction or find a better way to deal with some internal situations here. Now, lunar eclipses, they talk about inner feelings that result in external action. Meanwhile, solar eclipses are external events that happen, and we kind of have to deal with it, cope with it, and so on. All right. There can be new contracts, of course, in a work setting as well. Okay. We have Kingfisher, which says, prosperity is flowing. Have faith that you will receive it in the perfect form. Well, that's awesome, right? Something like that we were talking about. Then we have Chickadee, which says the time is right to release old patterns and energies. You're ready to embrace change. It's absolutely. These things are quite literal to what we were talking about, so I'm not going to get into them too much. We have Oriel, which says a new creative venture is on the horizon. See it as a positive change. Yeah, a new creative venture. This creation process is absolutely very loud and clear. No wonder I was looking at this. Also, the strength, like I said, corresponds with Leo, which is creative energy. Some of you could be quite artistic, or you want to develop on this artistic skill of yours and you want to make that a part of your lifestyle and perhaps make it a side income, or see where it goes, basically. Okay, there's not too much pressure here. I don't think you're looking at where you are taking this. You just have this The fears that I'm talking about is about starting something new and continuing to establish it rather than the end goal itself. Okay, then we have Falcon, which says use your keen perception and skill in making decisions, do not delay. This is exactly the Seven of Swords, quick to act. The moment you see the opportunity, seize it, go for it. It's that type of energy. Don't let the, fears block you if you know that this is something that is just right for you. That's why I said it's important to examine where the fears are coming from. What's the intention of the fears? The better we understand that side of us, the better we can navigate ourselves through any opportunities that come our way. And of course, that's an ongoing process. Nobody's expecting you to be perfect right away. Okay, so the pressure is off. We can just go at it bit by bit, no problem. But the moment you see it, don't deny it or don't ignore it. Seize the opportunity, go for that interview, talk to that person you're interested in. You see a humanitarian cause, just volunteer, go for it, try it out, if that's something that calls to you. Okay. Yes, and the falcon is a very interesting emblem for you specifically because you are all about the broad-mindedness, big picture view and all of that. You can see things from above and manage things very well. Actually, that's a very natural skill that you have. And falcons are all about going up, looking from above. So you get the lay of the land, you get where everything is, and then you kind of lock in and go for that thing. So this is sort of in your wheelhouse, okay? We have the heart. Yes, do what your heart says. The Ace of Cups rules the heart. It's about heart opening, unconditional love, a lot of bliss, peace, joy, prosperity, like we see with the Kingfisher as well. And we have Aletheia, which is also the justice energy. It's about the opposites attracting, finding balance between two extremes, not listening to the contrast. Either I do it fully or I don't do it at all, which is kind of the Scorpio energy. Either I invest fully in the, in my work sector, or I don't at all. I let go fully. We're trying to find a middle ground over here. Okay. You'll also find some sort of clarity, something that was hidden once that comes to light. And again, this is not to be annoying you or anything. It's not a deterrent. It is a necessary step along your journey towards self-fulfillment and soul expression as well. Okay, so let's see your astro dice. What else do we get for Sagittarians, please, for this May Scorpio eclipse? We have the 7th house, Pisces, and the South Node. Okay, Pisces is in your 4th house. 7th house is Gemini. Okay, and we have the South Node in Scorpio. That's an interesting picture, interesting mix over here. What can we see? I feel like the way that you're relating with other people, partnership is definitely a thing. There is some sort of contract here, or partnering up, volunteering with someone, client relationships. All of these things are part of the 7th house, along with the romantic aspect of things. There can be a release of habits that have been there regarding partnerships, okay? Pisces is all about let go of control, surrender to the flow, listen to the divine, pay attention to your intuition, and that will guide you to wherever you need to go, okay? And with the Ace of Cups in the heart, I kind of feel as though your 4th house is representing that bliss and peace. Your home life is quite good at this time. Any difficulties you might have had related to that is being let go. Any tensions you have between home and partnership as well is being released. You're like, well, you know what? We'll go with the flow. We'll see where it goes. No pressure. Let go. This kind of all of these things over here are talking about releasing the pressure. Okay. There can be people from the past that show up or pop up in your mind, and you find some sort of emotional closure with them. Some sort of, oh yes, of course, spiritual contracts could be ending over here. Okay, so that it's like a fresh slate that's beginning. So So any lingering fears that you have regarding past partners, that is coming up to the surface. You're dealing with those things and you're finding a lot more strength and understanding for your previous patterns, as well as healing your current and therefore finding prosperity in the future. Even if you already have a partner, the way that you communicate might have some sort of remnants, or the way that you feel might be like, oh, I don't want this to get ruined, or you know, what if this is too good to be true, you know, things like that, where we kind of take away that joy from ourselves. That can crop up here, but it's cropping up to be let go, right? If you don't know where the, you know, trash is or the garbage is, how can you take it out? It's sort of like that. It'll just be rotting in some corner and we're like, this smells weird, I don't know where this is coming from, right? But that's what, when it comes to light, it's in that corner over there. You're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna clean that up right away. Yeah, that's the purpose. Wow, okay, so very enriching, but compared to the other zodiacs, this one is powerful, still powerful, of course, when we have Scorpio, but it is working out quite beneficially for you. Work with it as best that you can, and hopefully the messages resonate and help you out. Let me know your thoughts. And of course, check out your solar eclipse reading as well. I've made zodiac specific videos for that. It can give you a lot more context, a bigger overview, and you're all about that. So, you know, hopefully that works out well for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.